God is good. All the time. And all the time. God is good. Amen. My name is Shaka. If you guys don't know me, 20 years of age, serving God. But I was never always serving God. I grew up in a religious home where my parents were Catholics, and they told me Hail Marys, and if you do that you'll be saved, and go to a sit on the Pope's lap and just confess your sins to men, but not to God. Yeah, I grew up in this kind of environment where my family were real physical with each other, just getting beaten, watching my parents fight all the time, argue over little things that that it's just rubbish sometimes. And so I grew up in that kind of lifestyle, that kind of background. At the age of 13, I started to make up my own mind, to make up my own decisions. I thought, yeah, I'm a man. 13, I'm a man, I'm a teenager. I decided to, get into a lot of trouble, and started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I remember that was the first time I ever got kicked out of home. And I started, all good. I'm my own man. And I started walking my own path, started doing my own things, getting myself into deeper and deeper trouble. And then that's when I first got introduced to marijuana, because some of the boys were doing it. And so I was like, oh, yo, give us a shot. I started smoking, huffing and puffing in the car, just getting high on the fumes and stuff like that, and just wasting my life. And because that's what I thought was cool. I looked to the boys and I thought, yo, that's us, let's go smoke some dope. But really, it just constantly left me empty. And the age of 15, I was June the 6th, 2013. I was 15 years old, and one of my close mates, sadly passed away, and he was only 15 years old. Just looking at this guy, he was, I thought he had a career in front of him. He had everything. He had his life sorted out. His family really loved him. He was going further in life. He had a career. He wanted to do engineering. This was one of my close mates. And then when he passed away, I started hitting rock bottom. I started going deeper into drugs. I started going deeper into relationships. I started going deeper into the things of this world that I thought that would fulfill me. I started injecting myself. I started hanging out with the boys, thinking, started getting more in trouble, into more trouble. And then at the age of 16, another of my mates died. We were at a party. We were just drinking. I was just sitting down, kicking back. And then I looked over to my left, and I could just see one of the boys walk in. He walked in just to look for one of his brothers that was with us. And all of a sudden, his throat got sliced. Just like that, his life was taken away from him. And these were my friends. These were what I call brothers. And then I started getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And I just remember I was in this house. It was a meth house, and I remember just hanging out with these 88s, because I started prospecting for a brother of mine called Billy T. I started going down that path, and I thought, gangs, I got my brothers, all good, I got more brothers. And then I realized that I was sitting in a couch one day, and my mate was next to me, he started injecting himself, and he goes, I can't feel it. And he grabbed 3 and stabbed it in his leg, and he overdosed. These were my 3 mates, closest mates. By the time I turned 17, that was it. I don't know what else to do. I've done it all. I slept around. I've done all that. I'm mucked around. I let my life loose, and I was just like, look, is this all they have for me? And then I remember coming to a concert just like this, February 14, Valentine's Day. I remember just sitting in here, just listening to the messages of what it wasn't the music that got me, it was the testimony that somebody's life changed. And I was like, how is that possible? This guy was a drug addict. I want that. I wanted that. And I started looking at it, and I was like, how do I do it? And then they said, all you have to do is come and surrender your life to Jesus fully. And I was like, I want that. And I remember February 14th, that concert, I raised my hand and I gave my life to Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Great. And I just remember, I wasn't perfect. It took me 8 months to quit smoking. I was still smoking in church, but there's a change now. I no longer smoke. That's the grace of God. And the grace of God is that He never put me in a situation where I nearly died. It wasn't me that was on that rugby field that my mate passed. It was my mate. God placed you in this seat, and these seats this right now for a reason. And that reason is so that you can make heaven your home. You know, God's blessed me with so much things in my life. I never thought I'd reach 20. Praise God. I never thought I'd be engaged with the most beautiful woman. This is what God can do. And can I tell you, yeah, it's a bumpy road. Yeah, there's a lot of obstacles in the way, but can I tell you, it's worth it because the prize of heaven, the prize of heaven is more greater than what we have in this earth. You know, you don't have to be a gangster no more. You don't have to put up your blood sign, your website. You don't have to walk around in this thing all with your guilty shames. Lay it at this altar. Lay it at this altar tonight. Give it out to Jesus. Amen. Amen.